Hello, welcome to A Podcast with No Name, Episode 2. My name is Nick Johansson, and this is Taylor Slay.
What's up, everybody?
Alright, hopefully our audio is good this time. We've been working on it diligently.
Diligently,
that's a big word. So today we're coming at you with the top 10 most iconic or popularized college football games in our eyes. This is an opinion,
of the 2000s.
Oh, the 2000s, that's right. It's not going to be any Doug Flutie, Hail Mary shit.
The band is on the field. The band is on the field.
There's no 122-0 Georgia Tech game. Nothing like that. We will get to that later. But the ending of the college football season prompted us to think about the top games in our minds that have happened in the past decade or so. So we wanted to go through those with
The
y'all.
last 2 decades, really, almost.
Oh, yeah, shit, we're old. Almost past 2 decades. So we wanted to give you our thoughts and examples of what we think are the top 10 best, with 5 honorable mentions scattered throughout. But yeah, we're going to go over honorable mentions first, so if you want to just run through those.
Alright, well, honorable mentions. Let's go through our first one.
Sure.
Which I think was a great game, which was Clemson, Alabama, 2015/16.
Round 1.
Round 1. Is it raining?
No.
No. Okay. Clemson won 45-40. What was your thoughts on that?
That was
Oh, Alabama
Oh.
won. Sorry, I have it written down wrong, you guys. Alabama won 45-40. What are your thoughts?
It was a good game. It was a good shootout game. It led into a great story of this year, and we're gonna get to that game soon because that was a great game.
Very soon.
But yeah, it laid the groundwork for a great storyline for an entire year. It built upon what I think everybody wanted, and yeah, everybody wanted Alabama to lose. I mean, call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to see them win.
It's they've been waiting for a long time.
Yes.
I grew up with you when growing up. Alabama was not that great, and in 2008, like something clicked, and that's when it started. And
the Saban effect.
The Saban effect is 2007. Saban went 7-6 his first year. Then after that, dude,
It's like an influx of money to start just building up their weight room, and then all these monsters came out.
things started clicking, dude.
But yeah, that was a great game. It made our honorable mentions list because it didn't top this year's game, but it earned an honorable mention because it laid the groundwork for it to become that much better.
Exactly. Do you want to go ahead and start?
So let's just
Top 10?
No, let's just keep on going. Honorable mentions.
mentions? Alright.
Here, I'll hit the next one. This is another Alabama team, but we're gonna go Auburn, Oregon National Championship 2010.
Yes.
This had a lot of implications going forward, as in neither team have been good since. Really, you could say Mariota and Oregon were great in the college football final when they faced Ohio State.
Yes.
But, they've both teams have kind of derailed since then. This was kind of the crescendo of both of their
I
greatnesses.
think after Chip Kelly left, Oregon kind of just slid down a little bit.
They didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, our coach is gone.
Yeah.
But at least we have the Nike guy.
Yeah, we have the Nike deal. But yeah, and then Auburn with Gene Chizik, it's weird because at Auburn you have these coaches that inherent talent but know how to use it better than the previous coach. We saw it with Gene Chizik coming in and using Tommy Tuberville's great recruits, and he uses them greatly, and then he recruits his own guys, and they're very subpar. But then you have Gus Malzahn come in and use those guys to great dismay for everybody else.
Yes.
And then now he's kind of sucking ass too.
Yeah.
But this was a great match between two great competitors.
Very much so.
2 Heisman finalists, Michael James and the Heisman winner, Cam Newton. Cam Newton was Auburn, and in a way, Michael James was Oregon. They both kind of...
Who was the quarterback that year?
It's a great question. I do not know the answer to. I really don't. Was it Mariota?
No, it wasn't.
No, it couldn't have been Mariota.
It was no, it was not. Let me look it up.
Yeah, look it up, because I can't remember that at all. All I remember is Michael James, because that was the big story, was Michael versus Cam.
Yeah.
And then all the speedsters that Oregon had against the defense that we were kind of daunting with, but still kind of ass.
Yeah. Jeremiah Masoli.
That's right. Yeah.
He was the 2010 quarterback.
And he was a good dual threat quarterback, too. But, yeah. So that's made the list for that. It wasn't as great as another Auburn matchup on here, but it was a great championship game. vying back and forth for the ultimate field goal at the end. You cannot write a story like that. Yeah. So next up, go ahead and hit the next honorable mention if you want.
Let's see what I got here. Let's just get this one out of the way because I think it's awesome. It was the LSU Kentucky game in 2002, the Bluegrass Miracle.
Huge
Game. LSU won 38-30. They were down 27-30. And then Marcus Randall hit Devery Henderson for a 74-yard deflected pass touchdown.
It's crazy.
Kentucky actually thought they had won the game. The fans were rushing the field, thinking they won. They actually poured Gatorade on the coach, thinking they won before the play. Like, premature celebrations will always come back to haunt you.
Yep.
But yeah, that was an iconic finish for an SEC game back in 2002. What you got for your honorable mentions, man?
Yeah, next I have the Alabama versus Ohio State semifinal game, where we saw.
Oh, you're talking about.
Shit, what's his name? I can't remember his name now. We've been talking about it for so long, I can't remember his name. I can put.
It's not J.C. Barrett, is it?
Nope. Because he was injured.
So was what's his face? Cardale Jones.
Yeah, this was coming out party for Cardale. His first game he beat Michigan. This game he beat Alabama. And then he went on to win a national championship. First prolific 3 games of anybody's career, basically.
And he was a redshirt freshman, I believe.
Yeah, and this game was a huge game because Alabama was a perennial powerhouse, just like they are today. Pretty much any game where you beat Alabama is probably going to make a list like this because it is such a big deal and sends so many ramifications throughout the college football world. But yeah, this is a game where it just made Ohio State legit. Like, they're a legit contender, and pretty much if you beat Bama, you are.
Basically, like, I feel like they have, like, a little... I mean, they've always been in, like, contention and stuff.
Yeah.
But I feel like they have, like, a little slump from, like, the Troy Smith days and the days where they were, like, in the BCS and shit like that.
Yeah.
And they kind of just, like, hit a little slump, and then now they're back in that national picture.
Urban Meyer effect.
Yeah, Urban Meyer.
Yeah, it's all about the coaching. Yeah. And
back before all that... Terrell Pryor, like, when all that shit happened, when they were selling rings and shit.
Yeah.
For tattoos and stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. I think when you bring in a coach, especially from the SEC or a powerhouse like the SEC, you bring in recruits with you that can dominate, and such have at Ohio State. They don't play, and they use that heritage that they have to great effect when it comes to recruiting. But yeah, that's why I made the list. It was a good game, but it's not the best Bama game on the list.
Yeah, and Ohio State won that game 42-35.
Yes, very good game.
Alright, next one, honorable mention would have to be another Alabama game versus Oklahoma in the 2014 Sugar Bowl. Oklahoma won 45-31 as we saw A.J. McCarron face Trevor Knight, who is he leaving A&M?
His career in college football is over.
Is it?
Yes, I believe so.
Going to the NFL?
One would assume.
I know he got hurt. I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, this game, nobody thought Oklahoma had a chance, and then they just came through and destroyed Alabama. I'm sorry, but it was a great game.
Yeah, it was a great game, and it was a one-man show, and that's what we've kind of seen against Alabama teams from the past, is that it takes one man, and that's what it was. Cam Newton in 2010. It was Johnny Manziel whenever he was there. He was a one-man wrecking crew. And then it was
when he was at Alabama that year.
Yeah.
Kind of.
What are you saying?
Like, that's another discussion for another time, folks.
Yeah, but we had Trevor Knight in this game, and we just had Deshaun Watson. It takes a dual-threat quarterback that's great at throwing the ball and running the ball and using the read option or read option passes. And it just disrupts Alabama in ways that people have never seen before, but it makes for great games and great stories.
And Alabama, they have that quarterback now. It's just going to take a little bit of time for him to learn from his mistakes.
Yeah, he's a freshman. He's a freshman. And not only that, but you change coordinators the last game.
Yeah, the last game of the season.
Which we'll get to that because I have a lot of thoughts on that.
Yep.
But yeah, that's teasing y'all to stick around for the main countdown.
I think that was the last honorable mention.
That was the last time. We had 5, and now we have a top 10 list, and we're going to alternate, which I think we both have a lot to say about the top 5. Other than that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
let's get into the top 10 most iconic / popular /
whatever
historic
we think.
Yeah, football games of the new century.
That was not bad.
In a world where one man
Has one pair of pants.
has one pair of pants and one sock.
One sock. What?
They call him Right Foot McGee.
Now I'm not going to stop thinking about that the entire time we're doing this. Alright, number 10. Boise State versus Nevada.
2010.
2010. Colin Kaepernick's final year. Hey, say what you want about him, but he was a great collegiate player.
Cam Newton, like, almost. That's what they were calling him.
Almost, but in a very worsened division. I mean, let's call it what it is. Back in the mid-aughts in 2010, 2011, the SEC was
The
a
best
powerhouse.
conference.
The best conference. Now you can say what you want about it. It's on par with everybody else. But it was the best conference, and if you wanted to play against them, that meant you had the biggest cojones in the nation. Let's just say what it is. In this game, Nevada had no right to beat Boise State. They had been undefeated, and yet they pulled it off because of Kaepernick. It was a great game. It was a great moment for a school that is considered underrated in Nevada to do that, and a school that was getting kind of overrated in Boise State. It was such a big deal, and it rang through the entire collegiate football universe, or nation, I guess. But hey, it was great.
Yep. It was a great win for the
Wolfpack, I believe?
Wolfpack, yes.
Yeah, they won 34-31 in overtime.
Yeah.
They broke a 24-game win streak that dated back to the 2008 Poinsettia Bowl for
Huge.
Boise State, so that was a couple of years, so
Huge.
that's a huge win for Nevada.
Alright, if you want to take number 9.
Number 9, folks. Number 9.
Number 9.
We are going to find number 9.
It's USC Notre Dame.
That is USC Notre Dame, 2005. Also known as what I call the push game.
Push game.
From Reggie Bush pushing Matt Leinart in the end zone at the end of the game, scored the winning touchdown.
You know what? You don't hear enough about those two anymore, Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart.
Nope.
Oddly enough, we have more rushing yards than Reggie Bush this year
We did?
in the NFL.
Really?
He has negative yardage.
we as a human being,
We as a human being have rushed
non-NFL
more.
players.
We should be.
Yeah,
We're worth more now.
Yeah. Notre Dame ended up winning the game 34-31 on that touchdown.
The Kardashian effect.
But on that last drive, Matt Leinart connected on 4th and 9
Yes.
for a 61-yard touchdown pass, I believe. Yep, to Dwayne Jarrett.
Huge.
Huge.
What?
Huge. To the rim.
To the rim. It's just huge. Yeah, the two prolific college football players, Matt Leinart, Reggie Bush. It's terrible that they have not really had the success in the NFL that they had in the collegiate ranks. Reggie Bush not being a Heisman Trophy winner anymore. What happened?
Or a national championship. Well, I think they won it like once with him before, though.
I
They
can't
repeated. They won it 2 times in a row.
He got it stripped, and the Kardashians, man, they just ruin everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, that made the list because it's very iconic and
Because one reason why it made our list is because USC went on to play Texas that year.
right, which we will get to.
We would definitely get to that game.
That is, if you know anything about college football, that's probably number 1 on everybody's list. But we'll get to that soon.
Yes.
Next we have number 8, Arkansas versus LSU in the 3 overtime thriller,
In 2007.
2007. Darren McFadden's coming out party.
206 yards and a passing touchdown.
A passing touchdown from a running back, which was not... Look, trick plays back in the day were few and far in between. It's not something we always saw. We didn't see the read option a lot. We didn't see all these trick plays. Florida was pretty much the only one doing anything like
They
that.
basically started the Wildcat, I feel like.
Pretty much, yeah.
Not started it, but it's made it popular.
It started in the NFL after that, and then it became a college thing. So yeah, but it really all started here. That's why it made our list, because it is such a prolific game, and it is one that, say what you want about that time, but it was a defensive league in the SEC. It was not offensive heavy, and this was a huge deal for LSU defensive team to be pushed to the limits like this and be number 1 and lose.
They still went on to win the national championship.
And very controversially so. But at this moment in time, it was a big deal for Arkansas, who really was an underdog in the conference, to do something of that nature.
Oh yeah, they won 40 No, they won 50 to 48. 50 to 48. That's 98 points. Total points.
That's crazy for an SEC game.
SEC
Now it's not that crazy.
It's
but
not
it
as
was.
much as that Auburn Arkansas game. It was like 64 to something that one year.
Yeah, it was 64 to
40 something.
8-ish.
Yeah, but yeah, LSU went on to win the national championship that year. Jerry McFadden, Felix Jones just tore it up that day.
Yeah, it made our list just because it did start so much going forward from there.
That was an SEC game. Duh.
But if you want to take number 7,
Number 7.
7.
Lucky number 7.
7.
We
Some
are talking about Texas Tech and Texas 2008.
Red River Rivalry. No, that's not it.
That's not the rivalry.
That's rivalry. That's
Oh.
Oklahoma. My bad.
That's Oklahoma Texas.
My bad. I only know about SEC really.
But this was a matchup between Colt McCoy and Graham Harrell.
And really, Michael Crabtree.
Yeah.
His show at the end.
His show at the end of the game, catching the touchdown pass, leaving 1 second on the clock.
1 second's a huge deal these days.
Texas Tech had led the game 19-0 to start, but then Texas came back to lead 33-32, and that's when they scored that touchdown at the end of the game to Michael Crabtree.
Red
And
Raiders, right?
the Red Raiders, man.
Huge.
I think Tuberville coached there at one point.
He has, yes, and then he got outed.
Wait,
And now he's outed at
who was the
Cincinnati.
coach at that point? Was it Tuberville?
No, it was the guy that's with Washington State.
Oh, you're talking about the dude that locked his kid up in the thing?
Yeah, he's a very outgoing character.
Mike Leach.
Yes, it was him. Yes,
But
yes.
yeah, this game was definitely
Said everybody's fat girlfriends. Oh, what a character.
But yeah, this game made our list because it was one of the top games probably of the decade.
I can't tell you how many times I've seen that catch.
Yeah, that catch, that whole replay is just
Resonated.
boom, boom, boom.
Yes. Resonated.
Resonation.
Alright, so let's get to number 6.
Number 6.
Number 5, Michigan taking on Appalachian State.
Number 5 as in like
Yeah.
ranked number 5. I was
Yeah,
like, what'd you go from
yeah,
6 to
yeah.
5, man?
My bad. Yeah, this is a game that shouldn't have even been a thing. Michigan, with the historical relevance that it is, it can flex its muscles on anybody, and this was really the downfall of Michigan. It prompted so many changes to happen, controversy within, and this really thrusted the FBS schools to become a legitimate FCS schools to become a legitimate threat. Every year now, it seems that we see one powerhouse taken down by any FCS school, Division II school, whatever, can take anybody down.
Yeah.
Nobody's safe.
Oh yeah, like this year we saw Western Michigan come out of nowhere and go
Yeah.
undefeated in the regular season.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And teams like lower level teams that are in the FBS, like Troy, they had a great year this year.
Yeah.
But back to the game. It was 2007.
Yep.
Michigan lost 34-32. In
Last
the first
second field
game of the season. Yeah, last second field goal got blocked and ran back. So that was pretty crazy, dude. I remember the place going silent.
I remember the call, and it was ridiculous.
I didn't believe it when I first saw it. I was
no,
like, what?
I thought it was a joke.
Yeah,
Like,
because
am I getting
usually
pranked?
when you play those teams like that, you're like, oh, okay, win. First
Yeah.
game of the season, win. Whatever, just roll over them.
Yeah, no, not in this case at
Not
all.
this case at all.
And this was the downfall of Michigan up until recently when they brought back Jim Harbaugh. They had no shot at winning anything, and they finally got their footing this year, and hopefully towards next year they get back to being relevant again. But yeah, that's it for number 6. Now we're going to number 5.
Number 5.
LSU versus Alabama 2011.
Game of the century. They said it would happen only once. They lied.
But it happened twice.
But the second time was shit.
Yeah, for real. LSU won 9-6. There was no touchdowns, all field goals.
Defensive struggle.
Defensive battle.
And this is a game that everybody always harkens to when these teams go back and face each other.
Yep.
Let's
go back to that 9-6 game in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was a very boring game if you like offense.
Very frustrating game if you're a Bama fan.
Or LSU.
Yeah.
Because at times it looked like nothing was going to happen. But yeah, at the end of the day, Bama lost. Unfortunately, they faced each other again, which I feel like neither team took seriously, or at least one did.
Yeah.
Um,
And then the national championship for sake, you know what I'm saying?
for Pete's sake,
For Pete's
whoever,
sake.
whoever Pete is,
Pete. My name is Pete.
screw you, Pete. Yeah, it was a weird season, but that game has historical relevance because it was a game of the century. It was a very high-fought defensive struggle. But yeah, that's why it's on the list. You can't not have game of the century on the list.
Yeah. Gotta have it. Gotta have it. Alright, guys. Time for the fourth most iconic game in the 2000s.
We're going Boise State, Oklahoma,
2007 Fiesta Bowl.
43-42. Boise State had no right to be in this game at all. Well, they did, but from an Oklahoma standpoint,
Yeah,
they had no right. They had no right even touching the shoes of Oklahoma in this game. Oklahoma was the king, and they were the court jesters. That's what it was, and they shocked the world. Statue of Liberty. It's never worked any other time.
That touchdown, bro.
Stat-
Throwing the ball in the stands, man.
Statue of Liberty has never worked any other time but this one game. I swear. Man,
Trust me, as Auburn fans, we know.
We
We've
know.
tried it hundreds of times.
It never works. Fumble Rooskies never work.
I mean, it works, but not for Auburn.
No. But yeah, this was a great game. It was a true underdog Cinderella story. And it really started, like we said earlier, it started off the Boise State phenomena, which went on and finally got derailed a little bit later. Yeah, it took off and did great things for the coach and for the starting quarterback, even though we never seen him again, I don't think.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything more to add to that?
I think it was just another one of those games that provided help for those not FC yet. Was it? Oh,
Lower,
FCS?
no, just lower tier schools.
Lower tier schools, yeah.
That have a chance of, if your coach sticks with it, if your players stick with you, if you develop them right, you have an opportunity to be a powerhouse.
Yep, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, and this next one we have some thoughts on. That's gonna take the longest one. Number 3.
Oh, number 3. Okay. Is it your turn?
It's your turn. Go
Ladies and
ahead.
gentlemen, Clemson versus Alabama, 2016 National Championship.
The rematch.
The rematch. Clemson won. Of course. Not of course. It was a great game. I'm trying to find a score, folks. I'm sorry. I'm stupid.
35. No, wait, I got the wrong score.
Where am I? Did I have this on here? 35-31. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I put 41.
35. Yeah. 35-31.
I put 35-41. Yeah, 35-31. Last second TD from
Literally 1 second left.
1 second left, on it, which we'll get to in a second as well.
Yes,
With 1 second.
yes, we will talk about 1 second here in a second.
But I think we're going to spend some time on this one because it did just happen and it does resonate with us so much, especially with me because I love story, and this was a very story-filled competition between two behemoth juggernauts punching each other in the face.
Yes. Like quarterbacks, coaches, teams, the whole shebang.
Yeah, let's just start off in the first quarter. Down 14-0.
Yeah, I didn't really watch most of the games.
All right, it might have been 14-7, I can't remember. And it looks like a typical Alabama blowout. National championships, Bama wins. They've been undefeated up until this point when Nick Saban's the head coach. They were
had
5-0.
a pretty long win streak going too.
Yeah, and you look at the variables that were with Bama and with Clemson, and you see, okay, well, Clemson's had the same staff. They have the same quarterback. Receivers are the same. Defense is really...
They've had that quarterback for 4 years now.
Yeah, and the defense is probably
4 or 5
better
years.
than last year.
Yeah.
And then you see this Alabama team with a freshman quarterback. You get rid of your offensive coordinator the week before the college football final, which it's naive to say that did not affect the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can say, oh, well, he knows because he's been there. But at the same time, he hasn't called plays in years. This guy's not called...
Sarkisian did what he at Washington at one point?
Yes, but then he was at USC as a head coach, got fired from there because he was an alcoholic, got help.
Oh,
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
showed up to fucking practice drunk.
Yep, but he came to Alabama, he got sober, and he has been an offensive analyst. He has not even been on the field, I don't think. So it was pretty shocking to see somebody that had taken him to, greatness in Lane Kiffin. And say what you want about Lane Kiffin, I think it's a great offensive mind. Personal stuff out the window. He's a great offensive coordinator, and he took them to be undefeated this year with a freshman quarterback in the SC freaking C.
Yeah, that's hard to do, especially with the freshman quarterback.
That never happens. We saw that this year with Jacob Eason at Georgia.
Yeah,
They had a shit record. I mean, of course,
they beat us.
well, they beat Auburn, but at the end of the day, they had a shit record with a very prominent head coach in Kirby Smart, which both still out on. But he's a 5-star recruit, whereas Jalen Hurts, people are like, well, who the hell is he?
Yeah.
And this kid went to greatness. And some could say that, yeah, they did score a lot of points last night, but Lane Kiffin would have just shut them up because in the second half, Clemson controlled the clock. Clock management was ridiculous. They outgained Alabama in yards, and
Dude, they had 420 passing yards.
and they ran 90 plays.
Yeah.
Alabama only ran, I think, 2/3 of that,
Wow.
and that's ridiculous for an off.
Time of possession. must have been
Yeah,
crazy.
it was. I think they had 10 minutes more. Clemson did, and that's ridiculous. If you're an Alabama fan, you should be livid right now. And look, Nick Saban, he's earned his shit, but at the end of the day, it's the coach's fault. You should have just stuck with Lane Kiffin. You should have just said, okay, we'll transition to Steve Sarkisian next year, because you probably would have won this game.
Yeah.
But it laid the groundwork for a great story. We had one last shot for Deshaun Watson. One last opportunity for greatness.
Yep. And Dabo, of all people, definitely deserved this championship.
Oh, yeah.
He's worked so hard to get this college team to where it is right now. All the way back from when we played them in the Chick-fil-A Bowl back in like 2007. Like, to now. He's worked so hard. I remember when they beat us in 2012. when we
Talking
were-
about Auburn.
Yeah.
When he
Sorry.
says us.
Yeah, sorry.
He went to Auburn, so
I went to Auburn.
he
so
can say
I
us.
can say us. When Auburn played Clemson in 2012, I remember him just talking about how great it felt to finally beat this team. Or was it 2011?
One of those years. I mean, you can't
No,
help
it was 2011 because 2010 we beat them at home.
Yeah, you can't help but feel great for the guy.
Yeah,
Because he has brought this team to
He's
prominence.
worked so hard.
Yeah.
No matter what you gotta say about that Clemson player grabbing the dude's ass in the Ohio State game.
I didn't watch it.
You didn't see that?
Nope. I'm good. But yeah, no, it's a great story. It's a great game, and it lays the groundwork for what's going to happen with Alabama next. Yeah, you can say as an Alabama fan, well, they're going to be pissed off next year. They're going to have a chip on their shoulder. Shouldn't they have had that in this game?
Yeah.
I mean, you can say what you want about the future, but the past was just yesterday,
Yep.
and you dropped the ball, and you should have won. You should have.
I thought they were gonna win the whole time.
Me too. I thought it was going to be slam dunk, 48-0. This is it because they're that good.
Yeah.
This
That
is
defense is probably the best defense I've seen in a while.
yeah. Alabama's defense is
Stout.
the best maybe ever,
Yeah.
possibly ever.
Possibly ever.
I mean, I think maybe if you put Upshaw on this defense, and it's probably the greatest of all time. And maybe Terrence Cody on that defensive line, possibly best of all time.
Terrence Cody. What's he doing nowadays?
Who knows?
Who knows?
He was on the Ravens. Back in the day.
Was.
Was. Well, a lot of them were in the NFL and not anymore. But hey, that's here or there. I don't know. I think if you're an Alabama fan, you should be questioning, not picketing, but questioning the judgment on the call to say that Lane Kiffin shouldn't have left. Because I don't think he should have.
Yeah.
I think he would have added another ring to Alabama, and I think that
And to go to FAU, like,
well, no, he had to.
he had to?
He had to. Nobody else is going to take his
We
ass.
didn't have to go to well, I don't know.
I think that if he brings them to prominence, look, if they win 10 games next year, he will have a head coaching job somewhere else in prominence. I think if Oregon doesn't have a coach coming up,
So he's going to be a one and done at FAU?
I could see it. I think if Oregon, if he wins 10 games at FAU or 11 and a bowl win,
Yeah.
I think you'll see him in a prominent college the year after. There's no way. He's such a great
Dude, I
offensive
remember
mind.
when Auburn played FAU and they came and Schnellenberger was the coach.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah, this game was fantastic. A lot of drama, back and forth.
Great game, no matter what you have to say about it.
Renfro,
Yeah.
he's like 5'11". Good on you,
Little
dude.
dude.
Good on you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if you're a Bama fan, you gotta be questioning the judgment. I think If you're a Clemson fan, you gotta be giddy as a little schoolgirl on a first day of class.
Yeah.
This is greatness, and you can't just write a better script than this until you get to number 2.
Number 2. I think it's your turn to talk about the number 2, man.
Yeah, because you need to talk about number 1.
Yeah.
Because as much as I know about number 2, you know more about number 1 than I do.
Yeah.
Kick 6.
The Kick
Auburn,
6.
Alabama,
2013.
34-28. Look, this is a game that I don't think either team was ready to win, and we could have played this game for 2 games straight. For 120 minutes, I feel like they could have played this game. If we went 8 quarters...
It could have kept going and going.
I think
it felt like that.
I think 8 quarters, it would have been the same score. Like, even, matched up, nothing different.
Because we were giving it all we got, man.
And Alabama was too. It was literally blow for blow. Somebody that didn't deserve to be there in Auburn, who came off a miracle play in Georgia, and somebody in Alabama who was a behemoth juggernaut, and the upset just happened out of nowhere, and it sent Auburn to a national championship.
And the play, just the fact that it was the last play of the game on a run back off a field goal. That's just crazy.
One of the most iconic plays ever.
Probably
now.
one of the...
I think next to Flutie, it's right there next to Flutie.
It's next to Flutie. It's next to Bandas on the field.
Yeah.
It's up there.
I think it's number 3, maybe.
With those
possibly
3.
2, yeah.
Like those 3, yeah.
Possibly 2.
Yeah.
But look, say what you want about that's a moment, but this game was literally back and forth, because to get to that moment, we had to go through this entire game, and it was back and forth until the final blow, which was, again, a mistaken judgment by Nick Saban.
Yes.
And that's, 2 for now, where we're going with that is mistakes, a lapse in judgment. He should have let the clock run out. Let's go to overtime. Alabama would have probably won.
I think what really helped us, though, was that one play where it looked like Nick Marshall was going to run the ball, and he stopped and threw the ball to Sam Coates.
Yeah.
He scored a
the
touchdown.
run option pass, those RPOs, run pass option plays are crazy. Now, we saw a bunch of those last night, Clemson, Bama.
Really?
Yeah. That's a big game plan for hurry-up, no-huddle offenses now.
Mike Williams had a big game last night.
Really did. God, he's good.
He is good.
He's going to be
huge. He's number 1 NFL wide receiver prospect right now.
If he went... Look, I was thinking this last night. If he was on Seattle... You're talking about crazy shit. That would be good. I would love to see him on the Seahawks. I'm not a Seahawks fan, but that would be just some good shit to see. They got some tall-ass receivers.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why I made the list at number 2. It's not as iconic as the next game, but it was literally in recent memory a blow for blow, 2 juggernauts going at it, and
Goliath versus Goliath.
A Cinderella story.
Basically.
Yeah.
Because the year before we went 3-9, and Gus
The year
Malzahn.
after.
What?
The year after we were shit too.
Yeah. But the year before Auburn was 3-9, Gus Malzahn comes in his first year and leads them to a national championship game appearance. There's nothing better than that, but it's like story book.
Yeah, story-wise.
Yeah.
It's great. It's a great facilitator for a great story. But yeah, let's get to number 1.
Number 1.
And I think this is consensus among everyone, so I'll let you take it away.
Alright. Number 1, most iconic, memorable, dope-ass football game of the 2000s would be Texas USC, the 2006 BCS National Championship game.
And I would really say, find me a game of all time. That's better than this one.
Yes. This game was epic. Texas was in the Rose Bowl the year before, which was where the championship game was held. And I think they won. I think they did win, and he wanted to come back for more. They ended up winning 41-38, and they came back for sure. Vince Young.
Thanks. Making sure our listeners
Vince
know.
Young, yeah.
Yes.
He
legend.
4 and 5, 19 seconds left, scored a touchdown. Ran himself. And it was against Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart.
A powerhouse.
2 Heisman Trophy winners.
Yeah.
Because Matt Leinart won it the year before Reggie Bush did. But this game is a memorable one, guys, because it just defined. I feel like this game defines Texas
and USC
in a way, because this was probably the beginning of their downfall.
Yeah, this game really defines everything going forward from there.
Yeah.
Last night, listening to Deshaun Watson postgame, he wanted a Vince Young moment,
Yeah.
and that's what he got.
Yeah.
I mean, people aspire from watching this game, and this is a game that coaches show kids now in college. That's what they aspire to do, is have a Vince Young moment, have a Texas USC championship caliber game, because that is the game to beat. You want to be in a game like that because you want all eyes to be on the game like that.
Yeah.
Nothing will ever come as close. Last night's 5 years from now, May. I don't think it will, because of how significant USC and Texas and the history and historical dominance both of these programs have had.
Yeah. Vince Young had 3 rushing touchdowns.
That's insane for a quarterback.
3 rushing touchdowns. As a team, they had 4. He had 200 yards rushing and 267 passing.
Nowadays,
That's over 500 total yards.
when you're looking at players like
Has to
Lamar
be.
Jackson, like Deshaun Watson, like Jalen
That's
Hurts.
463 yards.
Yeah, like Jalen Hurts and like Nick Marshall, Cam Newton, people like that nowadays, you see those numbers and you're like, oh, that's okay. This was 10 years ago. This was a precedent before any of that even began or was thought about.
Yeah.
This was in 2006.
2005. 2005, 2006.
2005, 2006, sorry. I have 2006.
This is 2006 game.
Yeah, 2006 game, but it was part of the 2005
Yeah,
season.
okay, anyways.
We got that under control now.
Yes.
But yeah, this game set precedent for players like dual threat quarterbacks to really take initiative and take charge and become a prominent threat in college football.
Yeah.
This is where you get the Tim Tebow. This is where you get the Cam Newton
Yep.
and the Johnny Manziel,
Reggie Bush, unfortunately.
Kardashian effect.
Kardashian effect. But this was during an era where it seemed like USC was unstoppable from 2003 to 2005. Like,
It was really like Alabama.
yeah,
now.
it was just like Alabama. They were the powerhouse team of college football.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was like Miami of the A's.
Yeah.
Like, they were the bad boys of college football.
Yep. In that early decade of 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah, folks. Well, that's our top 10 most iconic college football games of the 2000s.
Slash best, slash
best,
awesome,
slash
slash
awesome, slash
dank ass.
and our honorable mentions.
And our honorable mentions, but don't worry, we're going to, and this was just sparked upon because of,
I'm saying don't end it just yet.
oh yeah, I wasn't. I was just saying, this was just sparked upon us because the college football season just came to an end.
We gotta have something to keep it going, guys.
We have to. And I think our next couple are going to be oriented towards sports, maybe something else, but I definitely want to do a top 10 Heisman list and top 10 worst Heisman.
Yeah, for sure. I kind of want to do top 10 baseball pitchers one day.
That'd be good. I definitely I'm interested in sports, if you don't know. I think we both are, but we have a lot to talk about when it comes to that. But yeah, anything else you want to add before we cut this?
I think our next podcast is going to be 2017's most anticipated releases.
Four.
Period. Video games, music.
Oh, okay.
books.
Anything really? Okay.
Yeah.
Movies and all that good stuff. Yeah, that's a good idea. I think there's I'm a huge movie buff, and I used to do a lot of movie reviews on my channel, so I'm excited for a bunch of movies that are coming out. I have a lot to say about that. As do you with music, probably.
Yeah.
Books, I don't read.
Never know, dude. Number 50 Shades of Grey is coming out.
There you go. We learn a little bit more about each other every day.
Yeah. If you haven't had the chance, listen to our first podcast. It's episode 1,
We'll
Best
put
and Worst of 2016.
We'll put a link in the description below. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate it.
Or listening.
Or yeah, since there's nothing really to watch.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if
yes.
you want to, you can transfer this video to MP3 and listen on the go. If you don't have YouTube Red. Because without YouTube
Or
Red.
hey, watch those advertisements. Click on those
Yeah,
advertisements.
click on the ads. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah, comment below. Let us know your favorite college football games of all time.
And
Let's
your
have a
best
discussion
moments.
about it.
Yeah.
Best moments
Discussions.
too. What sticks out to you? What's your favorite player? Let's talk about it below. We love interacting with y'all on social media and on here. So thank you so much for watching. We will catch y'all next time. My name is Nick. This is Taylor,
Yep.
and we'll see you again.
Bye.